Today we're going to go over the simple difference between markup and margin. Now, first off, markup does not equal margin, and it gets more business owners in trouble because they assume they are the same thing, but they're not, and we're going to walk through to show you the difference. And this is why there's confusion, because markup and margin are calculated differently, but they still use the same numbers. And because you use the same numbers, that's why so many people think they're interchangeable. Here's an example. Let's say you have a product and it costs $10, but you sell it for $25. So you know the difference is $15 between the two. And sometimes that's called the markup, and sometimes it's called the gross profit margin. Same numbers, same end result, but two different names that you can call that final $15, markup versus margin. Now let's go over why they're calculated out differently and how this can be impactful for you. First up, under margin, it's the profit divided by the sales price. That's what gives you your margin. Profit divided by sales price equals margin. Under markup, it's profit divided by the costs, and that gives you the markup. Now let's take an example using our numbers. The $15 of profit we had on our item divided by the sales price of $25 tells us our margin is 0.60 or 60%. Over on the markup side, we take the profit of 15 divided by the costs of $10, and it tells us our markup is 1.5 or 150%. And you're going to see that using the same numbers done differently, the margin is 60%, whereas the markup is 150%. And this is where it becomes dangerous if you're only using markup versus margin, because the markup number 150, you get really excited. That's a huge number compared to the 60. But the reality is your bills are paid off of the 60, not off of the 150, even though they're both coming out of the same $15. Now, once again, here's why. Markup is only about how much you want to add on top of your costs. That's all markup is. It's how much you want to add on top of your costs. Whereas your margin is the money you take in that is left over for your costs, expenses, and profits. So you only have as much money as you bring in, being your sales, your revenue, that top line. So in this case, it was $25. Once you start taking away the cost and get down to that $15, all markup was telling you is you marked it up $15. Whereas under margin, it's telling you you have $15 left to pay any additional costs, expenses, or profits. Hopefully that's making some sense. Remember, markup doesn't always cover the amount you need to pay the bills. Sometimes you don't mark it up enough and you don't have enough money left over. This is why knowing your margin is so critical and why you need to know and understand the difference. So once again, your margin is your profit divided by your sales price, and your markup is your profit divided by costs. Well, if you like what you see, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, hit that bell so you're never left out of any new videos. And if you want to learn more about your business numbers, check out the knowyourbusinessnumberscourse.com. It's also in the show notes where we dive in deeper into your different business numbers you need to run a successful business.